How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Garage Built Baits. I'm your host, Wyatt of Buyer Lure Co. And first things first, if you are not following the podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on YouTube, on Instagram, you need to go and do that. You need to follow it everywhere so you can stay updated for when I post new podcasts and just on what's all happening. Got some cool things coming down the pipeline, got some cool guests that are going to be coming on. And I tell you what, that's just the best way to stay updated with everything and just see like some, potentially fun and cool stuff that is going on with the podcast. And then also with Buyer Lure Co., you get a little more like kind of a personal touch of what I got going on in life and with lure making and fishing and all that. So definitely go check all that out. Plus, there's the Buy Me a Coffee link down below. That always helps. But anyway, cool guest on today, Andrew Gardner. Let's get right into it. Some things kind of sneak up on you when you get older, and one of those is like smoking meats. And I threw like two whole chickens on the smoker before I hopped on here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you gotta get that done.
Mm-hmm. The the other thing is bird watching. That'll creep up on you before you know it.
Are you a bird watcher?
Not really, but I'll be looking outside or whatever. And I was like, oh, there's like a northern flicker, or there's a mountain bluebird out there.
Yeah, I'm a bird watcher. Actually, it's funny you said that. I, you know, one of my weird little things I do.
Yeah, the smoking meats that hasn't caught up to you yet.
No, actually, I just moved into this house I built. It took me 4 years to build it, so I haven't really got everything I need yet. Um, I got some other things to buy first before I get a nice grill, and a smoker.
Mm-hmm.
So
There you
I'm
go.
not even in my proper shop yet. I built a shop in the backyard and sitting here in my garage because for the time being until I get that finished.
There you go. Well, shoot, dude. We'll just hop right into it. You can introduce yourself. Just let the people know what you do. You got quite a few cool things you got going on.
Yeah, yeah. Name is Andrew Gardner. I work for American Baitworks. I'm a product designer, and most recently we created the Synch Fishing brand based on my work as a wood carver and lure builder. And I've been carving fish and just carving, wood in general for probably 40 some odd years. So started when I was 8 years old, and here I am at 51, and I'm still carving. So obviously, you get better with time, but hopefully, I'm just better than the last one I carved. But that's how I take it.
Yeah. No, you have like really cool and like intricate stuff out there because you're like an award-winning like decoy carver.
Yeah, yeah. Fish decoys, which actually kind of popular in your area, Michigan, Minnesota. Places like that where they still allow spearing. But yeah, I do a lot of fish decoys. Not as many as I used to, but I basically just do about 8 or 10 a year, mostly for um, shows and stuff. So, but I also do a lot of fishing lure shows. I do shows in Poland and Sweden and the U.S. So it's quite a fun thing that was a hobby turned into a career. So it's been awesome.
No, definitely. And like the dark house spearing like up here in South Dakota like is like pretty popular, but I've never gotten the opportunity to do it, but it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm more of one of those guys that do it for the art form. I haven't been ice spearing myself. I've lived in New York, which doesn't allow it, where I grew up there, and then I moved to Florida, where I am now. And I just do it because I love I just love functional art, and the sport will probably die before the art does in ice spearing. So I just like to keep it going as an art form.
Hmm. And me, just so we get like a refresher, American Bait Works, what brands all fall under that umbrella?
Yeah, so we have scum frog, hollow body frogs, huge assortment of those. Snag proof, which is also another hollow body frog and topwater bait company. Halo fishing rods, um, net bait, bait fuel. So there's quite a bit under that American Bait Works umbrella, and as well as Synch Fishing.
Hmm. No, the Sync Fishing hat's pretty sweet. Kind of got like the Coors Banquet vibes going on.
Yeah, it's just my favorite beer, so I wanted to have, I don't know, something that I love those core stub bottles. They're getting harder and harder to find in the store, but it just seems it tastes better when it's in a bottle and it's small like that. I don't know, there's something about it I love. Maybe because I had them when I was just turning drinking age. I don't know, but yeah, I wanted to have that feel to the hat. But all the hats that we have are kind of like my work. I like that whimsical, cartoony look and stuff like that. So they all have that kind of vibe to them.
Hmm. So let's just flash back to the beginning. You said you started carving at 8, but where did fishing and everything come in for you?
Yeah, well, my dad was an outdoorsman, so it's fairly easy to get involved in fishing and hunting on Long Island. He was also an art agent. That's what he did as a career when we lived there. So he was dealing with the arts, and he was also a wood carver, and he was a hunter and a fisherman. So it was kind of like it was, for me not to do it, it would be a shame. So that's how I got started, and yeah, I would just sit and watch my dad carve for hours, um, and I found the love for it. I didn't find the love for it until about 20 years ago. I mean, I carved, but it was more of like a hobby type thing back then. Did some projects in school, and then once I got into retail, I told myself I gotta find something other than retail to live out the rest of my life doing. So that's what I did. Just started carving away on fishing lures because, like I said, I like functional art. So every fishing lure to me is a piece of art, and then just to get it to function and catch fish, it's like nothing means more to me than that. I mean, it's nothing better than that to me. It's to catch a fish on something you made.
Hmm. No, it's definitely like a really dope feeling when my fiance and I, we lived down in Florida for a couple of years, and one of the first bass that I caught down there was on a rat wake bait that I made, and it wasn't big, but I was screaming around like it was 10 pounds. Like it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I would rather catch. I would rather not catch on my own bait than catch on something I bought at a store. I don't know, something weird about it. I mean, plus I would rather just fish swim baits and glide baits. So I'm not going to win any tournaments, but I sure as heck going to have fun out there. Um, you know. So yeah. So I started Melosh fishing lures back in early 2000s, 2004, I believe, and then American Bait Works found my Instagram and started working for them. About it'll be 8 years in January, so 7.5 years.
Oh, that's awesome. Um, and then so you do bait design for them at American Bait Works.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Some soft plastics. A lot of the artwork, whether it be some sort of graphic design or designing all the colorways for the scum frog, snag proof, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I got a couple scum frogs, and they're both in a pretty cool colorway. They're kind of like a One's yellow, one's blue, but they're both like got poison dart
Ah,
frog
yeah.
vibes.
You got yellow poison and blue poison. Those were
Yeah.
some of the first ones I did for when I started. So those were cool. Those are Walmart exclusives.
Well, I think that's where I got them too, is down in Florida
Yeah,
at Walmart.
yeah. Those are cool, and they have several that are exclusive to Walmart, like a cicada we had for them, um, the blue and yellow poison, and a few others. But yeah, those were cool. And then we did, if you remember, we did a Christmas series for Walmart. We did the frost. It was like a frosty type frog, and then we did a Christmas tree frog, and another one, a Santa Claus frog, I believe it was. And then they were on sidekicks in the Walmart, so it was kind of cool to walk into a Walmart and see the frogs that I did the artwork for. So that was kind of a cool experience.
No, that's very epic. It's cool. I think Scumfrog, like, I think they, if I remember correctly, they do like runs of kind of like seasonal or limited edition colors, which is like it's fun. It's cool to see.
Oh yeah, when I was doing Melosh, I always would do Halloween exclusives, and when I came to American Baitworks, that was something I really wanted to do, to create a collector type mindset. When something comes out, they rush and go and buy them. We started off with Halloween ones, and we've done them almost every year since I've been with the. And then we did like a July. We did like a Father's Day, and several others throughout the year.
No, those are all fun to see. Like I follow Instagram, so I'm always seeing them. Um, Working with American Baitworks, how did it transpire for you to like get Synch Fishing going? Because you guys got the glide and the gill, so you guys got some cool things going there with ABS swim baits.
Right. Yeah. Well, when I started, we knew we wanted to get into some of my original designs and play with those, but we weren't ready yet with the company to get there. But after several years, you got to keep going at it, and eventually things will sort of come to fruition. But yeah, it was several years, but we knew we wanted to do it. It was the timing wasn't right at the beginning. I wish it was, because now you got there's more glide baits and swim baits on the market. I mean, you go to these shows and every other table is a swim bait and a glide bait. And glide baits, swim baits, I was making 15 years ago. So it would have been nice, but you know what? Things happen for a reason, and we put out some good products with these. Our first two models, the glide, little over 7 inches, and then the three-piece gills in two different sizes, the 130 and the 90. And that 90 is becoming one of my favorite baits to throw. To be honest with you, it's just a fun lure to cast and fish.
Hmm.
And you can do anything with it. I mean, it's just easy, so it's probably one of my favorites.
No, I've seen like some YouTube shorts, especially like some of the Florida guys down there, and they're throwing like the cichlid colored one and um catching peacocks and catching largemouth on them. I was like, I definitely need to check these out. Get one of these in my hands. They look sick.
Oh yeah, it's a limited edition, a limited drop. We plan on doing those with Sync as well, and we had some limited drops at the Tennessee Sport Fishing Show. Um, those sold out, and then we had the classic. We had a limited edition classic Tennessee Shad, and then I went up to Canada for CanCast, and we did a limited sold out of these perch and some northern bluegill, which Canada is just an amazing that fisheries up there is just unbelievable. I mean, you're close enough to that area. It's just and I don't know. It was just a great experience to go up there and see the anglers that are using swim baits and glide baits. Just to meet everyone. It's a lot of good people up there.
Hmm. Yeah, I think because we have like kind of a shorter like open water season, if you will, um, like northern strain bass are just can be very aggressive for swim baits, but I still struggle with it a little bit. It's just kind of time of year, what they want to do, and our weather's been super freaking weird, like
Yeah.
out here lately with our winter. So, like yesterday was 80, and then tomorrow we're gonna get snow.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, we're 85 right now, normally during the day. So it's getting there. It's getting hot, but you get used to it. Um, but yeah, I found this new lake that's close to my house here that I didn't know was there. But it's a long walk. You can't drive up to it, and you can't. It's a park, so you gotta. It's a 1.6 mile walk in, and dude, there was so many flies, so many horse flies and stuff. It was terrible getting there, but it's a beautiful, beautiful lake. I saw some monsters in there, but I couldn't get them to commit um, that day. But I plan on going back and when I have some more time.
Hmm. Yeah, my biggest thing when I lived in Florida was uh, I worked for a pest control and lawn company, so I'd go to people's houses, go to like gated communities, and I'd be
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Hey, I'd ask permission. I was like, "Hey, would I be able to like come back and come fish?" It's like I already have your. I didn't tell them, but it's like I already got the gate code to like come in. So it's like, could I come fish this pond that I know there's giants in because I've seen people post about it? And sometimes yes, got that permission, and then you'd like call them up later and they'd be like, "Oh, actually like our like place doesn't allow that, like the community or the HOA or whatever." And
Yeah, it's crazy. That's what I mean. This is a monster. My personal best bass came out of a pond by my last house I was living at. So these things, these small ponds are holding some big, big bass. So
mhm. No, my personal best is out of a like little kind of retention pond like down in Florida. And it wasn't huge. It's about, it was like it was like a little over 4 pounds, but coming from South Dakota
oh yeah,
and like sticking a 4 pounder, I was like pretty jazzed. And still my biggest one to date, just because like out here, like bass getting to 5 pounds, that's an old fish already.
oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you catch a 4 pounder in North Dakota, or where you say you're South Dakota, right?
Yep.
That's probably what is the state record for South Dakota? It can't be much bigger than that.
So our state record's like a little crazy. Ours is like it's 9 pounds and something.
Okay, that's pretty.
And yeah, it's getting there. Like, and then uh I know a kid that's caught a 9 pound bass like ice fishing like out by my area that I grew up in. So they're out here. You just
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
grind for them, and it got to be just right for them.
yeah, yeah, that's cool.
What part of Florida kind of area are you
I
living
live.
in?
It's about an hour and 20 minutes north of Tampa, so I'm on the west coast, but on the Gulf, and I live about a mile away from the Gulf. So saltwater is big here, and it's not that far to. It's about an hour maybe to some of the Harris Chain Lakes.
Hmm.
Not that far. So we got quite a bit of lakes. It's just haven't been able to get out that much. Being up this way, I've lived here not even a year yet. Um, so, so it'll get there. I'll get out a lot more soon. Hopefully, I've got a lot of designs I'm working on now, so that kind of keeps me in the shop and in the shop we're just basically casting and prototype testing. So
Hmm. No, there's a lot of water in that area. We lived like in Central Florida, kind of like well, I don't know, not too far from Disney and
yeah,
all that stuff. Ton of water, a lot of different places to explore. The first time I seen Lake Okeechobee, I was very amazed. I was like, you can't even see across this thing. It's the biggest lake I've ever seen.
oh yeah, it's awesome. I was there about a month ago, I think it was. Um, we were testing some stuff, but we were also we took a day and fished. We have a store the owner of our company has a store down there called Lake and Trail, and it's loaded with product. I mean, you've never seen a tackle store like this before. It's a gas station and tackle store and everything. So, I mean, if you're ever in that Okeechobee area again, you got to stop by that store. You know,
Oh,
it's
for sure. That's that's the best of both worlds right there. You gas station, you can get your roller hot dogs and get your bait.
fill, fill up on beer, drinks, anything, and then and they're gonna have. I think they're gonna do some things to the store to make it even more. They're gonna add to a lot of the stuff that they already have, which is already um, probably one of the biggest tackle stores. Just just flat out tackle and the amount of SKUs that they carry. I mean, they carry so many swim baits and glide baits, and not just Sync, just an American Baitworks product, but everything. So it's an awesome store to go to,
No.
and they're great people that work there. They're good friends of mine. So um, it's a good giving them a shout out because they're good. They're good down there. So
No, so yeah, if people are in the Lake Okeechobee area, what's the name of the store again?
Lake and Trail.
Check it out.
It's on the north end of Okeechobee. So
Um, so you said you've been working on some designs and everything. Is that just for Sync or is it for Melosh as
well,
well?
well, when I said no, I don't do a whole lot of Melosh anymore, other than decorative carvings
Mm-hmm.
and one-off pieces, sell to collectors, or I do some pieces for shows. I do a couple competitions a year, not too many anymore. And I do, like I said, that show in Sweden. I'll make probably a batch of maybe 25 lures. Um, and then I do a show in Poland that I'll do a batch of lures for. And that's it. That's enough to keep me going. And I like to do the decorative stuff on the side if I need to get some carving done, you know?
Mm-hmm. So when you go and do these European shows, are the baits you bring in, are those mainly going to be like kind of European style glide baits?
Yeah, that's what you got. Yeah, I learned that the first year I went. You try to bring stuff that you normally would make, and it's like, no, because in Sweden, for example, basically 90% of the stuff is all hand carved stuff, and they're smooth finish, epoxy, pike type baits. So you got your jerk baits, your Euro glides, and tail type baits and stuff like that. Sort of like this is one I did for the Polish show because it's like a roach fish. It's got that
Mm-hmm.
got the golden shiner. They have the roaches and stuff. Um, but that's kind of the stuff. And then I do. I like to do those Euro glides, those single piece baits, kind of like this. And this one I did for Sweden. I made a batch of like 30, I think it was. Um, I just love doing those baits, man. When you can get a single piece bait to glide and do that under the water, it's just cool.
Mm-hmm. And are those all hand carved like wood baits? Each one you're cranking out by hand?
The first one I showed you, yes, this is a wood one.
Mm-hmm.
This is a resin off of one of my wood carved originals.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a wood carved original, for example, for a bait I made for Sweden last January. It's called the three-eyed shrimp minnow.
Mm-hmm.
But those sold pretty good. I sold all of those. I normally like to keep one. If I do a batch of like 20, 30, I keep one of them for myself. So someday when I keel over, my daughter has something to show.
No, and all your stuff's like really cool. Kind of like what you come up with is super creative. Kind of like, I don't know, like mixing like real kind of fish or historical, like, prehistoric stuff and then like fantasy stuff maybe. Just got like a
Yeah,
really cool style with it.
I don't like to be. I don't go out of my way to be different. I just carve what I like to see. But there's so many good carvers out there that sometimes you just got to be more creative in order to be seen than somebody who's going to create something that looks exactly like the species. I always kind of try to, even if you look at some of my decorative realistic stuff, I exaggerate certain things so that I know it's mine, and maybe somebody else that sees it knows, hey, that's a Melosh or something like that. And that's really what I'm looking to do. I'm not going for complete realism. I'm just a lot of times I'll just grab a piece of wood and start carving. I have an idea of what I want to make as far as function, and then I carve and see what it turns out to be.
Hmm.
Like that, I carved that fish the other day, and I was intending on putting a fin on the back, that decoy I just posted the other day, and I didn't like it, so I just turned it into like a parasite on its back, like it's his friend, sucking onto his back while he's swimming around. So it's just whatever I feel like when I get to that point in the carving is what I'll
Hmm. No, but that's fun though, and even you can see that with like, oh, if you look at with Synch Fishing, if you look at the glide that you guys have, the 7-inch one, it's like that's like stands out. It's a little different than other ABS and other glides out there that are shad profile, things like that.
do. Right. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was not. Like yeah, it wasn't something that I wanted. I thought about it a lot because this was the first one released, and I wanted to have something that was sort of realistic, but not, but also showed my style. So that's why I added this belly. I've done this on decoys and stuff in the past. This little belly bulge. Originally, this thing had real big bulging eyes, but it affected the swim, so I changed that a little bit. And, it's just seeing it where it started and then seeing where it ended. But every one of them starts with a wood carving, and then during the prototyping stage, it goes through different, it goes through a 3D print, then a poured bait. It's just a lot of stuff that you have to do in order to during the process. But it's all fun to me. The best part is when it comes down where everything's perfect, and then you just gotta find out or whatever, figure out what you want to paint these things. The painting is the fun part. It comes alive at that point.
Hmm. When you can do a ton of different stuff, and your paint jobs like that you have for Sync, and then the ones that you do for your hand carved stuff, like all that's like really good, and kind of bring your own artistic style to it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so all the sync baits, I painted all the originals and then sent them back to the factory and made sure that every one of them was, a lot of them came back 3 and 4 and 5, 6 times before we decided, all right, you got it right. So sometimes it's a long process. Sometimes they get it right away, which is seldom, but it happens, and it's fun when that happens. But a lot of times it goes through at least 3 times before they get it right.
Hmm. Well, I think you guys did like such a great job that people were willing to, when you guys premiered at ICAST, people were willing to put baits into their pockets.
Yeah, I get people asking about that. When I was overseas, people were asking about that. I'm like, you guys even watch these videos that we're playing? Um, but yeah, people still ask me, did that really get stolen? I said, yeah, it got stolen. It didn't get stolen in the way that people imagine it did. We were going to lunch, so we took all of it. It was during setup, so only industry individuals were there. It wasn't the outside public. So we put the baits away I had them in a box behind the display. And then we went to lunch. We came back, and all of my stuff was like gone through. It was like, what the hell? Somebody's screwing with me here. And I go through everything. I put everything back on the display, and we had the one missing. I'm like, what's going on? I thought somebody was playing a joke on me, and then it never turned up. So it did get stolen. And then we had fun with it with some video, and one of our influencers got involved in some of that, and one of the videos went viral, and we were thankful for it. But it was a crappy situation that we made into a positive one. So we had a lot of fun. So
Yeah, it's taking like kind of a crappy situation and putting you like you said having fun with it, and I think it did like really well. I seen quite a few videos like about this stolen fishing lure, on social media like during that time when iCast was going on.
yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a few videos that did really well. A lot of the times, the videos that did well are ones that I didn't know we were being videoed, and I was just explaining the box and the baits and all. And we were surprised when we seen the post and it had a ton of views. So we're very thankful for everyone that came by the booth. And it was, I built the booth, I carved the booth, the face of it, and it was a cool display. And I think I'm going to do another one this year for ICAST, something different, because we do have a new model coming out.
Hmm.
So I can't really get into the type of function and model it is, but it's going to be cool, and it'll be seen at ICAST this year.
Hmm. And this is from your own, like, this is from your brain. This is your design.
Oh yeah, everyone that's in sync, yeah. So it's cool. It's a cool design. It'll be fun to see people fish it. I've had fun fishing it so far, so I'm excited to see others fish it. So
Hmm. Is it a? I won't try to like pull too much from you, but is it a bigger lure or is it like smaller?
no, it's in line with some of the others. It's just a different type of function. So, but we do have our thoughts on some other stuff for 2027 actually. So uh, that's gonna there's gonna be quite a bit more models. We don't want to come out with stuff just to come out with stuff. We want to come out with baits that we think that are going to be good for the market, and nothing about this is about rushing anything. It took 2.5 years to come out with that glide of testing and all that stuff. So um, we'll take our time and come out with great stuff.
Hmm. No, I think that's a good mindset and mentality to have because without me like trying to call like other bait companies out, it's like, and I'm not saying like on the garage build side, I'm saying like on the kind of more commercial side of it, if you will. Some larger companies like come out with a lot of stuff and it can be like a little overwhelming with what's all out there.
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. I want. There hasn't been enough time that the base that we do have in our lineup, they haven't been on the market all that long and doing really well. So we don't want to take away from that. So no. Plus, we're in no rush. We're going to be here for a while. I've been doing this for a long time, and I expect to be doing sync for a long time. Um, and see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Um, so when you're able to get out on the water, how are you doing that? Are you beating the bank? Do you got a boat?
Not currently. No, I sold my boat a few years ago, so I do a lot of bank, or I go and fish with my buddies. But yeah, I'm doing a lot of saltwater lately, and I'm using a lot of the surprise is that this artisan gill has been really good on snook and redfish and whatnot, even the glides. So that's been fun, realizing that and getting a ton of video and footage from our customers in Florida here on the east and west coast catching these monster snooks. So that's been a cool, exciting thing. Um, but yeah, so I'm doing a lot of saltwater now. Um, we have sea trout here. You guys, I don't know what you guys call them, spotted sea. My guys, friends down south call them spotted sea trout. I call them just sea trout. We got a ton of redfish and snook up here, so And it's only a mile away from my house, so I can just, if I want to do that, I can easily do it. Test lures as well as just fish. So
Mm-hmm. No, that whole saltwater and like inshore scene with swim baits is super cool. Like snooks, redfish, yeah, like trout, um, kind of tarpon, but that's like a little iffy, it seems like on swim
yeah,
baits.
yeah, it's you don't see a whole lot. I mean, they're catching like the Uncle Larry guys. They're down here in Florida. They're catching snook. I mean, tarpon, but they're the smaller, 2 and 3 feet jobs. But they're catching them. I haven't had the opportunity to catch a tarpon yet on the sink stuff yet, but I haven't really put myself into that position yet. But yeah, it's the saltwater scene is definitely blown out. I've seen a lot of videos on Instagram and YouTube and stuff. It's crazy. I just live in a nice area where you can do both. So
Mm-hmm. Well, that's nice to have that option because like pound for pound, saltwater fish are like fight super hard. Like no matter what they are, it's absolutely crazy. Like we loved going. We weren't super good at anything. We were just throwing shrimp all the time. But but like anytime we caught something was always like sweet, and it's like holy shit, all these things have teeth and are like predatory.
yeah, oh yeah, and the snook are probably one of the best fighting fish for their size. They got to be some of the strongest. I mean, I've caught striped bass, and they seem to be um, stronger than a striped bass size wise, as far as size compared to size. Um, so they fight really really well.
Do you
It's
have any
close.
do you have any plans with like the glide to do kind of like some saltwater specific colors?
Well, to be honest with you, when I first developed these, I created all saltwater colors for a trip to test them out in on Long Island for striped bass. So I did a lot of Manhattan, some weird forage fish up there, and tested them out. I actually have. Do I still have those? I've got so many lures, man. It's like because I'm a collector of lures as well. So it's like I got more lures than I can shake a stick at. So this was like a Manhattan that I used, one of the originals that
Mm-hmm.
I up in New York. That one, this guy, and they got a lot of. I love the battle damage they get after you fished them for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So those were two of the original. I went up there with 5 lures. I've got 2 left. I think we gave one to the photographer and a couple to my friends, and that's all I got left. Um, those will go in a shadow box at some point in my life when I get things situated here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you mentioned like you're not even in your shop right now. Like this is kind of like your garage or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. It's a makeshift deal. I got my airbrush over there. I got a tower where I hold trays when lures are being painted because I do a lot of the hand painted drops. I'll do. We've done 3 drops already, and I'll hand paint them and sell them at the shows and stuff like that. So yeah, I got enough room. It is enough room. I got my bandsaw, all my carving stuff. This right here is my carving desk. So I'll sit here. I'm working on a piece. Can't really get in. This is a 14-inch bait. This is only 2 parts of it. But it's a big swim bait. This is going to a charity auction or a charity event. So I got several things going on. I work at that. I work on that at nights and weekends, and then inside I have a desk for my iPad and computer work, and that's about. I mean, I got everything I need right here, but it's not ideal. I mean, by any means, because my wife wants to use this for a car, and I got the garage taken up here. So you know. So eventually, I got a 1,000 square foot shop right out there, and it's filled to the brim with collections of lure. Eventually, I want it to be half gallery, half workshop, so that friends can come over and we can look at all the stuff I've collected over the years, and they can buy stuff from me if they want, and stuff like that.
No. So like as far as kind of like collecting lures and everything, is it like handmade stuff? Is it like old school, like
I like
antique
to
stuff?
I like to collect things from people I like or know.
Mm-hmm.
That way, I can look at it and say, "Hey, that my buddy Brandon, or my buddy, I don't know." I just like to. I want each piece to tell a story. Now, I do collect a lot of Megabass stuff, only because I'm a huge fan of the Japanese market, and a lot of their custom stuff. But most of the stuff I have is wood carved, or stuff from overseas. I collect a lot of fish decoys. I've got a bunch of duck decoys. I've got a lot of sporting collectibles, like, stuff like that. But one day I'll probably have a museum in my shop, so you'll have to come down and take a look. Um, but yeah, mostly wood carved stuff. But I like each piece to tell a story, just like I expect my pieces when I carve them to tell a story to somebody who buys them. And that's the way I go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you got quite a few things behind you hanging up there. You got like some
Yeah,
bluegill stuff, all that.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of original type stuff. I've got my first duck I ever carved. I've got a glide bait I made 15 years ago. Um, just a lot of stuff. And I used to collect toys and action figures. So a lot of my stuff kind of has that feel where it's like I don't know. I've carved like action figures before. Um, so I like to have people. This is like one of the first lures I ever carved. I mean, look how terrible this thing looks.
I feel
It's
like
got, it's got big bulging eyes, which I kind of have still in my whole little thing. And this stuff I collect that reminds me of where I was at the time, or who I talked to. That's how I associate my conversation, is because if I have a good conversation with another lure builder, and I like their stuff, I'm gonna buy their work. I don't expect anyone to give me anything. I have people that ask, "Hey, no, just take this." I said, "No, you never expect something for free from somebody that you like. I always pay full price for their work. So, and then I'll display it, and then they can come see it someday."
mm-hmm. No, I think that's like a cool goal to work for. And then your wife can have the garage back.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I don't have to hear that anymore. And that way, once I'm in the shop, I'll probably never leave there. I'll be in there all day.
So when you're in the shop, or you're at your wood carving desk, are you consuming podcasts, TV shows? What does that look like for you?
No, I actually maybe put on my turtle box that my buddy gifted me. Listen to some music. My buddies make fun of me because I like to listen to R&B, or a lot of boys to men rap and stuff like that. But yeah, I really like the sounds of just. I have. I'm on 100. It's 100 acres behind me, a wildlife management area.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, I just like listening to animals more than I do people. So I'll just listen, birds and stuff like that while I'm working. I don't watch TV when I'm working. And, I spend that time at night with my wife and daughter. We watch some TV, but I don't really watch. I don't follow a whole lot of people. Um, Only ones that I really respect in the industry, or people that have followed me, because I don't like to be. I like to do my own thing, so I don't like to see something and have to and have it coerce me into carving something that's sort of similar. So I try to stay away from all of that. But I do know the trends in the industry just by um, looking at enough stuff. So.
Mhm. No, I think that's like that sounds like peaceful, just like carving, listening to nature, the birds or whatever. Like we got turkeys gobbling and clucking around here all the time outside in the mornings right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, man. I spent a lot of years in service industry and managing stores. So for me to not have to do that, and now, granted, when I go to a fishing show, I don't sit down. You'll never see me sitting at a fishing show. I'm standing talking to everybody that comes in contact with the booth or wants to talk fishing. Is that I really enjoy talking to the clients. So that's fun to me. Working in a retail setting like a home improvement industry, which I worked at, and that's not that great.
Mhm.
So
No, I get that. And like when you're at a show or whatever, it's like you're surrounded by like-minded people. I don't know, whenever I'm out fishing and y- like if I'm out, out beating the bank or whatever, I've had quite a few people like stop and be friendly with me and, you know, uh, talk to me. But it's like, everybody like around here likes to fish, but talking to people, it's like, oh, we're kind of on like different levels of like what we like to do. Like you're kind of out here, nothing wrong with it. You're out here throwing power bait, and I'm kind of, wanting to fish my own stuff or fish my buddies' lures and, fishing a lot of handmade garage built stuff or JDM
yeah,
stuff. So it's like we're we're kind of like not quite on the same wavelength as far as how we like to fish, but I'm sure at shows it's a lot of more like-minded individuals.
yeah, yeah. The shows that I find the most fun are the ones where the majority of the show is all garage bait builders, and there's not that many shows like that. That's why I love doing the one in Sweden called Bait Bash. It's all like-minded people that just, I mean, they don't necessarily do it for a living, but they, on their off time, they're making these gorgeous pike lures, and just it's just a, and they all, I mean, it's hard not to get along with everyone at those shows. I mean, it's an unbelievable experience. I went. They invited me. I don't know. It's probably 8 years ago, and I've gone every year since because it's just an amazing trip.
Hmm.
You ever get a chance? If you ever get a chance, and you love, obviously you love garage bait stuff and handmade stuff, you need to go there because it's just unreal. And
Hmm.
once you go, you're hooked, man. You never want to not go again.
Hmm. No, I follow like, oh, a few like European like bait builders and then like a couple like Australian builders. The Australian builders are funny because they're like, oh, they're timber lures, and I was like, oh, all right, that's cool. Respect timber lures, that's fun. Um, but like all the Australia stuff's like fairly simple, I would say, but it's like built for their just crazy fish over there.
Oh yeah, that's one place. It's on my bucket list. That Japan is on my bucket list to go to. I didn't realize it until after the fact, but I had sold when I was doing Melosh. I had sold a ton of lures. I was wondering why they bought so many. Um, because these were resin back when I was doing them in a resin, and they bought a ton of lures, and like 3 weeks after they received the lures, a month after they sent me photos of, they were all displayed in this huge fish tank, like an underwater scene at the Osaka fishing show. So it was really cool. But I've actually never gone there. I would like to go. It's a bucket list. I'm working on some things where I can try to get there, but hopefully in the next couple of years,
No, that'd
because
be.
they by far are the most. Those are my favorite lure builders, and most of them are top water fanatics.
Hmm.
They do the crazy top water stuff. So
No, you get some of the like really cool, fun stuff coming out of Japan. Whether it's kind of some of their cartoon stuff that they like cartoon top waters, or like the Pokemon stuff, and then you got like other cool stuff coming out of there,
Yeah, it's
soft
all,
plastics and all that stuff.
it's all stuff that I don't know how good it would be as far as a fish catching uh, deal, but it's catching my eyes, and I just like to buy a few just to put them on display. That's that's just how I am. I like to just collect the weird stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to like, oh, I've had like quite not a huge swim bait collection, but I had quite a few baits, and like I've been kind of downsizing a little bit because it's like I can't put all the time that I want to into each of these baits, and then like even with my soft plastics and everything, I've been moving more towards like um from like more towards like garage builders and people pouring plastics in their garage and or coming up with their own molds and everything, kind of some creative stuff. It's really cool what some people are doing out there.
Oh yeah, it's like I said, it's come a long way in the short time that I early 2000s, you didn't really see a whole lot of people. Then again, you didn't really see a whole lot of Instagram, and I didn't have an Instagram account till later. Um, you know, Probably late to maybe I don't know 2015 maybe. So yeah, the industry has come a long way as far as the hand builders, and a lot of the big companies are sort of copying these garage bait builders. It's kind of sad, but you see a lot of that going on where it starts in the garage and then ends up in some big company and like that. So
Yeah, and you see that with um some JDM stuff too.
oh oh
Yeah, without getting into that too much, but
yeah yeah.
um one thing I'm interested in is you said your dad was an artist, carved wood. How does like a wood carver? How did that look for him? With because I'm assuming he probably wasn't doing decoys.
No, he did decorative carving. So if somebody had caught like a 50, I don't know, a 50-inch pike or muskie, they would call and say, "Hey, can you create this fish in wood?" Um, before resin and at a time where they didn't kill, well, maybe the angler didn't want to kill the fish, so measured it, the girth and the length and all, and then they would send those measurements to my dad, and he would create that sort of like a taxidermy, but in wood for the customer, capturing that fish, in wood. That's the kind of stuff that he did, and did quite a bit of fish. I think he totaled like 350 fish from like 1960 to 91, and then we moved to Florida, and then he went into the Florida Fish and Game as a biologist. So uh, and he stopped carving. He never carved another fish. So I don't know. I kind of thought maybe I should take the reins and do it myself and see if I can make a career out of it. And that's what I've done. So
Hmm. Do you have any of his like original carvings?
it's tough, man, because I've been trying to find them for the past 20, 30 years. And I found three. I found one because it came up on auction well, somebody received it as a donation at like a thrift store. And that guy and my dad was really good with putting his name, address, and all that stuff on his work. So they had, I guess they did some Google search and found out he had a son. They managed to get a hold of me through my Facebook, and I traded for it and got that piece. Um, I have two more that he did for a friend of my dad's friend. He carved two fish for, and that guy, his friend, passed away. and the wife didn't want them anymore. I guess she never wanted them in the house, you know how. So she had called when my dad was still living. She had called him and asked him if he wanted them. He's like, yeah. So she just threw them in the box. She just threw them in an empty box. Just threw them into the box. When I got them, all the fins were broken. I had to do all the repairs on them and all. So I have three fish that my dad carved out of the 350.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm still on the, when I see them, I've seen them come up on auction before, but I was too late, just by doing Google searches. Um, but yeah, they're really hard to find, and it's the Northeast. When we grew up in the Northeast, so they're mostly up there. Um, so the odds of me finding one in, like, because I do a lot of antique stores and thrifting, the odds of me finding one are slim to none. Now I have found some of my stuff in shows, which is kind of cool. Where you see like an old decoy and a box, and it says my name on, oh, this is from so and so, and those are kind of cool. So anytime I see those, I try to buy them because they look terrible to me. Um, so I just buy them all up, and hopefully I can get them for cheap. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad was he did all majority of his carvings was with a knife, and chisels. I started out that way, but then for time purposes and trying to get things done, I moved on to power carving. It's not that it's easier, but it is easier as far as moving wood around, so you get things done a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's epic. And those three fish, what are they? They're all the same species, or they're different?
Well, we did a lot of fly fishing in New York, so a lot of the fish that he would carve were trout. I've got a salmon, I've got a trout, and I've got a brook trout, a salmon, and I think the other one's a brown, like a sea run brown, something like that. The one is just, I haven't even finished putting all the fins back on. That's how bad it was. That one I don't have displayed. The other ones are, yeah. I'm living. Everything's in boxes here at my house. I got boxes over here, box. I don't have anything displayed. It's terrible. I do have a lot of the carvings I did as a kid. It's killing me. I don't know where. See, I can't find anything. This place is a mess. But when I was a kid, I would do a lot of carvings in school and stuff like that. But yeah, they're somewhere in boxes. A lot of my stuff is still in boxes. Eventually, I'll get them out so that I can see them again.
Mm-hmm.
People see them. The whole goal was to kind of have like carving classes in my shop, or even do like videos and stuff in YouTube and showing how to carve. But it's just, I haven't been able to get to that level yet with everything going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Someday.
Yeah, no, because you like showed your first, like, one of the first lures you made, and you're like, oh, it's not that good, and I'm like, shit, that's better than anything that I've done when I first started.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get. I'm just trying to get better than the last one. Like I said, um, this is probably one of the first glides I did many years ago. This little golden shiner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, this is like, and I like to keep stuff like this. Is a guy gave me this in Sweden. This is the kind of stuff they would do.
Mm-hmm.
Look how cool that is.
Yeah.
And he gave me that, and I want to display it. I want to remember the guy. Every time I see that, I'll say, man, that guy was a cool guy. This guy. He's like a famous lure builder in Sweden, and he gave me this, so I like to display this. It's a big trolling bait for pike. It was just stuff I like to keep around. I like to keep around their stuff more than mine, so I can look at it and remember it, and remember the beer I drank or the conversation I had when that was given to me.
Mm-hmm. when you've been at these European shows, has there been like any chances to go out and fish for those huge pike over there?
There's only been one of the years they had the show in September, and I haven't lived in the states where we did any pike fishing. So when I went over in September, I brought my reel, and they supplied the rod. And what's good about Europe is a lot of them fish lefty on bait casters, which I do.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'd be screwed if because I can't. It's like throwing a football lefty to me with a bait caster. It's I don't understand with the righty deal, man. I've never thrown it my whole life. I've always thrown it, cast it right, and reel with the left. But yeah, we went pike fishing for the first time. I went with my buddy from Ireland. He came, and the guy that lives in Sweden took us out on his boat. Man, it was awesome. It's a beautiful, beautiful lake. It's the Lake Vänern. It's the biggest lake, I believe, in Sweden, and that's where the show for bait bass is held, about just a few minutes from there. So I caught a pike on a glide bait. So it was awesome. The other guys were using one other guy caught a fish, and caught it on a jerk glide on one of his. Um, Great pike fish. I mean, I got to visit him in Ireland because he does guide service in Ireland. He's great. So one of these days, that's another bucket list. I got more bucket list items than I finished so far.
So what's the
But
PB pike then?
oh, dude, it's small. I think it was 38 inch.
Oh,
Uh,
that's
dude,
still a pretty good one.
yeah, but dude, I mean, I've seen these huge fish that these guys are holding. I'm like, man, I'm going to catch a huge pike, man. And dude, it took all day to catch that one pike. I mean, it was rough. And then we went to actually we fished in Poland in November. Dude, that was a tough fishery because it was the lake that we were on. These pike were sitting like 50 feet right on the bottom, and it was tough to get glides and the three pieces down. We weighted them pretty good, but they weren't hitting anything. We threw everything but the kitchen sink at these things. They would not hit anything. So it was a great trip, but it wasn't fun fishing because it was pretty cold and windy. It was brutal, but pretty cool place. Super
Hmm.
clear, super clean water. Um, but it was super deep, man. You could see them on the sonar, man. They were like just sitting there right on the bottom, as far as you could.
Hmm. No, I'm kind of surprised with all those trips. Like you didn't catch any like little snot rockets, if you will, like any little ones, because like the little ones will hit like a 15-inch pike will hit a 9-inch lure.
Well, it's most of the time I go, the places are iced over. Like the shows in Sweden are always in January,
Hmm.
late January. And the Polish ones are most of them were in February until this last one was February, March. One of them is like a week before the Bassmaster, and I wasn't able to make it. But November they have this show called Bait Fight in Poland. Man, that was cool. I was a judge for the handmade baits, custom wood carved baits. I was a judge along with Peter, the guy that created this big lure company in Poland, and he was the other judge. Man, it was awesome
Hmm.
just to see all the wood carved create. Because it's so much different over there than it is here. We're more of a swim bait, glide bait, jerk bait, top water bait type of thing, and these guys were doing things that were really cool and unique. Um, yeah, so it was fun.
Hmm. I think the European style glides are like sweet too because I feel like with pike fishing and everything, there's a little you can have like a little more creative freedom to like really get out there with colors. Like the one behind you, freaking neon green and purple. Like it's you know
Uh, they're
pretty
crazy.
sick. No, so it's cool to like because like here in the U.S., I feel like there's a push to like have realism, and you see like some painters doing like some fun creative stuff, but mainly like people I feel like here in the US for their handmade baits kind of want realism and you know kind of realistic colors and patterns and things like that, and me included.
Yeah, you see the weird stuff. When I went to Canada a couple of weeks ago for that show, you see a lot of the weird colors in the walleye fishing.
Oh, for
Uh,
sure.
I mean, that's cool when because I like to go to the tackle stores in different areas that I'm at and see what kind of stuff they're selling. In Canada, it was cool because there was a ton of walleye, beautifully colored lures and stuff like that. Stuff that we definitely don't have here. And then in other places that I've been, like in Poland, they'll have like half the places like for carp, and it
Hmm.
stinks like ass, with the stuff that they have. It's I don't know. I mean, I grew up where my dad took us carp fishing. I thought it was cool, and I love carp to this day because of it. But man, it stinks. You go to those shows and the whole place stinks. I mean, it's bad. Um, but yeah, I love seeing lures in other areas of the country and in other countries. It's cool.
Hmm. When you get out on the boat, what's kind of your lineup? It depends on certain times of years and conditions, but what are you mainly throwing? Is it going to be a lot of your own stuff, friends' stuff?
No, it's 99.9% of the stuff is the stuff that American Baitworks puts out. So um, I'd rather catch fish on glides and swim baits, so I'm normally using those, and I'm normally using the Halo fishing rod brand that we sell. So I'll have like the KS2 Elite rods, which I really like, and this new, not new, but it's one that I recently been throwing the glides on. It's the HFX um, uh, medium heavy, and it seems to be perfect for especially the gills and stuff. Um, as far as reels, I normally stick with either Daiwa or Shimano, and I like that Shimano Calcutta Conquest. I mean, if I can have 10 of those in all different sizes, I would, and not throw anything else. But I'm not there yet, you know. But as far as saltwater, I'll throw. We make some great saltwater plastics too. The go-to shrimp. I throw that on with a jig head and fish for the sea trout. We got quite a bit of swim baits, so we make everything that I need to fish with, so I really don't have to go outside. Now that's not to say I don't test other people's product to see how they swim and see what all the excitement is around certain things. But yeah, most of I'll only fish our product.
Mm-hmm. No, one thing that you said that resonated with me, because I'm the same way, is you said you were in Europe. They fish lefty for their bait casters. And when I was living in Florida, I was at a rod builder's house, and he was like, yeah, I'm right-handed, but I'll throw lefty. And I was like, oh, and he's like, yeah, it just makes sense. Why would you like fucking switch your hands over? Like, and then I was thinking about it, and like all my reels have like switched over to left hand. I was like, this just makes sense now.
Yeah, I don't know. I just never knew another way. I mean, when I first bought one, I'm like, why would I? Even on the salt when I'm grouper fishing, most of those are righty, conventional reels. I'll get the ones specifically for lefty on those as well. Um, but yeah, I just can't do it, man. I can't cast and then switch hands and reel it. It just doesn't. I can't work the rod like I want to with my left hand. So
Yeah, I kind of like equate it to like baseball or like playing a guitar. So it's like, yeah, like baseball, you're catching with your left hand and you're throwing with your dominant hand. So it's
yeah,
like, why wouldn't you cast with your dominant hand?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just I don't know. I mean, maybe if I started out when I was a kid throwing that way, but my dad, I don't think he ever owned a bait caster. I think they were all spinning reels when I was growing up. I think I got my first bait cast on, I don't know, 12. Before that, it was all spinning reels. So when I bought one for the first time, I think I bought a lefty, probably because my parents didn't have a ton of money, and the lefties were always cheaper than the righties for some reason because nobody wanted them, or they were clearance because they couldn't sell. So that's probably why I got one. Threw it on that ugly stick or something. I don't know. I mean, that's probably why I fished it and then stuck with me. So.
Hmm. When you're at your carving desk, what wood do you primarily use for carving, or does it vary depending on what you want to do?
Yeah, it varies. Most of the time when I'm doing like prototypes, it's a Tupelo wood, which is found in like the south east of the United States. It's an awesome wood. It's a hard wood, but you can't really see the grain. This is a perfect example of like a Tupelo wood.
Hmm.
So you can see. Um, Now, certain woods, if it's a prototype, it doesn't matter how it swims. You know what I mean? It's just you're just creating an original, and then you would cast that or mold that, and then make castings out of resin for the most part to get testers. But if I'm creating something that needs certain buoyancy or it's a certain function like top water, I normally go with like the cedars, some sort of cedar wood, like white, red, Alaskan, something because it's really buoyant. It's water resilient, and it's it doesn't it holds up better. Now it is softer, so sometimes you'll have to treat it, with some wood hardener or throw it in a wood hardener bath or get it heated so you can get that sealer deep into the wood. Other than that, it's a really super buoyant, moves a lot in the water, so it's great for top water. This particular one I'm working on here is a hybrid, so it's cedar, but then on any of the function or the important parts are resin.
Hmm.
So if anywhere there's going to be a screw eye or swiveling hook hanger, there'll be resin in here. Same with the line tie, there'll be a resin that shoots all the way through the bait. Um, so if water will not get into any or sacrifice any of the integrity of the hinges or the functional parts.
Hmm. No, that looks really sick, and I don't think me personally, I haven't seen that too much where people are doing resin and wood together, but that
No,
makes sense, dude.
yeah, I think I started that. To be honest, I mean, I just have been doing it a long time. It's just makes sense because not only that, if you put resin into the wood, something has to expand and contract. Doesn't I mean some? So if you're putting the screw eye in for like a hinge, you're increasing the diameter of that resin and getting it locked in even more. Um, and then this one's going to get epoxy finished all over it, probably 5, 6 coats. Um, but as with anything, everything breaks eventually if you fish it enough. It gets the hook rash. Hopefully you catch a monster before that happens, and then maybe you can retire that wood bait. But stuff like that happens.
Hmm.
I've lost a lot of baits. Um, it's the worst. But you know what? You take that gamble every time you go out there when you're using custom handmade baits. It's part of the thrill. I lost one of my favorite baits. I was going to retire it actually after the fishing trip. I went over on the other coast with my buddy, and I caught several large bass. One was an 8, the other one was 7, and then I cast it in. This one was probably a huge bass. It was bigger than those two, and as I was bringing it through, it the line snapped, and I lost the bait. So sucked. it snapped where, fluorocarbon. It's one of those things. I'm sure you know that you gotta. It seems to me you gotta retie that stuff very often.
Mm-hmm.
And we had jumped off the boat to fish this spot we couldn't get to with the boat, and I didn't bring any of my tools, so didn't want to screw up my teeth any more than they are. So I didn't bite the line and retie, and that's what happens, man. And it sucks. Yeah, and I was gonna retire. That was going in a shadow box with some of these other ones because I caught a lot of fish on that. And it seems like for whatever reason, the longer you fish these glides, the better they get. I don't know what that is, but I got this thing was so dialed in. It did everything I wanted, and I lost that thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what happens, and that's part of the. I don't know. It's part of the allure. I don't know. It's just an allure of it. No pun intended, but it's cool.
Mm-hmm. No, that's like the biggest piece of like swim baiting advice is like retie your line. Like
Oh,
how
dude,
however many times you want to.
I was an amateur, and it's an amateur move, an amateur mistake, but it won't happen again. I mean, it probably will happen again, but hopefully not soon. You get
Um,
excited and you don't want, because your buddy's on the other side of this spot where there's a ton of fish. He's catching them too. And do you want to get yourself out of the fishing and to retire to get this guy catching more fish than you? No, that ain't gonna happen. So I should have retired. I didn't. And but you know what? What are you gonna do?
yeah, I've lost a handful of swim baits, and a couple have been from not retying. One, the most recent one was from people leaving their trash, and they had like braided line all wrapped up in like
Oh,
some weeds, and I didn't see it. And I went to bomb this like trout, like big trout bait out there, and you just like hear it catch onto that braid, and then you just watch it just like sail across the lake. And I was like, I feel like I showed a lot of restraint by like not swearing too much.
yeah. I've lost one. I lost one at a local lake where I casted it. I'm trying to go for that bomb cast, and it's up in the air, and a bird just happened to fly and caught the line in its wing, took the lure over to a tree, and got it stuck on the top of this damn tree, and I lost one that way. So I mean, I've swam for lures before. I'm not climbing any trees at my age right now. I'm not doing it.
I
You get a lot of times in saltwater, man. You get caught up on cast nets that have been left behind.
Oh
That's the
Jesus.
worst. That is the worst.
Yeah, when we were fishing like a little jetty one time, and there was like a dude diving out there, and he was like pulling out like cast nets and like line and weights, and cleaning some stuff up, but it sounded like they were going to take like those lead weights and everything from the nets and from the
Oh
fishing weights and like clean them up and like make their own sinkers and whatnot. So I was like, well, that's cool.
yeah, that's cool. If I find one, I'll bring it. I'll bring it home just like for that purpose, is to get the lead. But a lot of the times they're plastic now.
Hmm.
The weight system is like plastic on those nets, so you can't even melt them down. That, and you can't even melt down where I used to get my lead on tires. A lot of those aren't even lead anymore.
Mm.
The tire weights. So
Hmm.
surprised they allow you to even use lead anymore. You know, it'll get to the point where none of the bait builders won't be able to build the baits anymore because you can't get lead.
Uh,
They'll
this,
have to use other means, tungsten.
yeah, it's just gonna drive the price up.
Oh yeah.
um, when you're going out on a fishing trip, Florida has like some killer options for gas stations. What's kind of your go-to gas station, and what are you getting?
I don't know. We've got Wawa. Do you have Wawas in South Dakota?
We don't have them here. Like the big Midwest thing is like Casey's and getting like Casey's pizza,
Oh, I never heard of it. We
but
got
like,
Wawa.
hmm
Obviously 7-Eleven, Circle K. I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you what I do like sometimes is probably not. I like that in a hot summer day. I like to grab me some of those twisted teas.
hmm
I mean, not go crazy, but I like to have one in a hot summer day, casting a line. But yeah, I mean, I do like to, I'm kind of like a beer connoisseur, so I do like beers. I don't like, crazy drinking beers. I just like to, for the taste and all. Yeah, probably Circle K is probably the most frequent gas station we have around here, the most common, in 7-Eleven. We don't have any Wawas up. We have one where I used to live south, but not up here.
hmm. You guys don't have like any racetracks around there? Racetrack
Oh
was
yeah,
kind of my
racetrack.
go-to.
Yeah, you got racetrack. Yeah, racetracks are pretty cool. Not a whole lot of them. I think we do have one actually a few miles up the road. But 7-Eleven, we have this other one. It's like it's got a Dunkin' Donuts. Actually, you know what? I normally do hit that one because it's got a Dunkin' Donuts. I get an iced coffee or a black coffee or something there.
Hmm
If it's early.
Yeah. You're not hitting up and getting like some boiled peanuts.
No. Well, I do like boiled peanuts, but man, I'm gonna be on a. If I'm going fishing, I'm gonna be on a boat or something and have boiled peanuts. That might be a mistake, dude. Because I just had food poisoning like 2 weeks ago. I went to. Do you have those Asian markets where you are? Like you go in,
Uh,
they just sell Asian foods and stuff,
we
like
got like we
grocery
got
store.
yeah, we got like a few around here.
Well, I in my house here we adopted this thing the last couple months. It's like Hot Pot Tuesday. We've been doing hot pots here because I don't know, it's something new. And I got some duck eggs from that Asian market, man. And one morning I cooked up a couple of those and put them in like a burrito, you know, tortilla. And I ate that, and as soon as got done eating, I'm like, man, this ain't right. And dude, I had to take my daughter to school, and I took her, and I got out before I got out of the car, and just man, I hurled on the side of the Jeep. Dude, it was brutal, man. I should have known because the egg was kind of like translucent, and it like didn't have any integrity left to it. So I was like, sometimes I do stupid shit, and then I wonder why I'm sick. But yeah.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate because like so our local grocery store sells duck eggs and they're pretty darn good.
I've had duck eggs before, dude, but I don't know, man. This may take me off of duck eggs for a long time because, man, that was bad. And I was out of commission for like 24 hours. I mean, it was pretty quick, 24 hours. But I do like, you know what I do like, and my buddies hate them, is the hard boiled eggs in the vinegar. Those pink eggs. You ever have
Hmm
those? I love
I
those.
I've not had those. Haven't dived into the pickled eggs.
Oh, dude, those things. I mean, I don't know about on a boat, but I do eat those. Like if I'm traveling somewhere, or the jerky. I like pork rinds. The typical travel type crap.
Hmm No, if I'm going out, it's like the blue zero sugar Powerades, and then yeah, like
Is it the
jerky.
bright? Is it the bright blue or the light blue?
Oh,
The Arctic one, the light blue one is awesome. I don't know about that dark blue stuff.
I think it's I would say it's the
Like
lighter colored
frost.
one
The
since it's
frost.
zero.
Is it a frost one where it's like light blue, like a
Oh
baby?
no, no, not the Gatorade ones, the Powerade ones.
Oh gosh. How dare
Um,
you?
dude, but the jerky that I like the really like hard, tacky shit that you gotta
No,
gnaw on for a while.
no, man. You're gonna have some teeth problems. You're gonna pull some teeth out with them things. I do like Slim Jims every so often. Um, they make this one at Circle K up here. It's not Slim Jim, it's another brand, but the thing is like that thick.
Mm-hmm.
Like eating a freaking hot dog in a wrapper, man. That's how thick this thing is. But I've eaten those. And have you ever eaten those hot mama things, the red pickled sausage?
I've tried those. Not a fan. I've had like homemade sausage that's been pickled. Like that's fairly popular up here. I've had that. That's really good. But like the
Yeah.
pink hot dog ones, that's a no go for me.
But you have tried them.
I've tried them though. Yeah.
They're not good.
Yeah.
But they make spicy ones that I won't try, man. I'm not doing that.
Oh, dude, the last time, so we had a chili cook-off that the whole company does, and my one of my bosses thought it'd be really hilarious to make a very spicy chili, and that wrecked me. That was the first time, and I'm fairly good with spice, but that was the first time I've ate something where it's burned going down and coming out. It was terrible.
Oh, I've been there. I've been there with a buffalo wing eating contest. 25 nuclear wings.
Ooh.
Oh, dude, it was brutal. And where I worked at the time, they didn't have a working bathroom. You had to go outside in the 100-degree summer heat in a portalet. Dude, my ass was burning, man. That's the last time I've ever done. I'm not really a spicy type of eater. I won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I mean, it's not. It's not fun after. I mean, after a certain point, it's just not fun. It's fun to watch people burn their mouths and stuff, but it's not fun. You know, getting it done yourself.
Mm-hmm. Where I was going to college at, they always did like a craft beer and a wing eating like big show. And it was fun, like be like this big competition, like sample wings, sample like beers and everything. And me and my brother signed up for a wing eating contest. And there were garlic parmesan wings. And that was when my beard was like down to here. So just garlic parm just all up in it. And I went into
Well,
the event center.
those are fairly easy to eat.
Oh yeah, they were like by the time we got to them, they were cold, and I was like, this is kind of gross. Well, this gal was like, opened up the event center door for me. She's like, ew, like seeing my beard and everything. She's like, I was like, I didn't throw up. I was in the winning eating contest. She's like, oh, I thought you did. You're looking gross.
How many did you knock down?
Dude, not very many. We just did it for the entertainment value. We like really
Oh,
shit talked each other up there before it started because they like brought a microphone around.
yeah, I could probably. Back in the day, I could probably eat a lot of them. I can easily eat probably 20 now, but nothing more than that. I mean, it wouldn't be fun at that point. But I could probably knock down 20 fairly easy.
Probably about the same. But if I go in there like pretty good and hungry, like probably around 20.
With fries and some beers.
Um, Kind of one last silly question before we wrap this up. When's the last time you've seen like your bare chin?
I trim it actually very often, not to the face, but take off a couple inches at a time. But probably when my daughter was like, she's 20 now. When I say I take her to school, I'm taking her to college each day. But probably when she was like 8, maybe. So 12 years. I mean, I remember picking her up from dance class, and I had shaved my beard, and I went in there, and she didn't know who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And friends were like, "Who's that? Who's that?" 'Cause you wait there, you got to wait there to pick up your kid and stuff. And I started talking to my daughter, and the other kids were like, "Who the hell is that?" They thought I guess I was a creeper or something in there. an adult, in there. But that was the last time. Um, I don't know. I'm used to it now. If I get to people recognize me now. If I shave this and go to a show, they probably wouldn't recognize me. It'd be kind of weird. But at some point, I'll probably shave it off and go to work or something. I'll be like, who the hell is that guy?
Yeah, I recently just buzzed whole head, and yeah, my fiance's not a fan of it, and people at work were like, "What the hell?" And I was like, "Something new. Starting fresh with it."
You ever see those videos of the guys that get their beard shaved off and they got this beautiful it looks like a chiseled chin and stuff, and they shave it off. It looks terrible.
Oh yeah, that's not
Uh,
me. My beard is my makeup.
yeah, I mean, most people look better in beards. I mean, unless you're a famous person like a Brad Pitt or something, where people know you for your face and you're good looking. Man, I'm not the best looking dude in the world, so a beard helps me out. With some of those people, they beards not doing them a favor, but I would say 85% of people are better looking in beards.
Yeah, I go from with my beard, I'm a solid probably 6, and then I get down to a 4 when I shave it.
I'm not even close to a 6. I don't think. Now I was decent looking growing up. I wouldn't say I was a 10. I would say probably a 6 or 7. But now, I'm freaking old and you know gotta have this beard.
All right. Well, we won't take up too much of your time here, but where can people find you and social media wise? Where can they find carvings, sink baits, all that?
Right. Well, first off, you gotta visit sync.fish. That's where you want to find the sink baits, the artisan gills and glides, and then you can come and check out my Instagram and Facebook is Melosh Fishing Lures, and that's where I have all my photos of the wood carvings, and sometimes I'll put in videos. I'm doing a lot more videos lately because I think people want to see the creation process. So that's where you'll find me: Facebook, Instagram, and that's about it. And shows. So if you see me at a show, come by and say hello and talk fishing lures. I think the next show I'm doing is at ICAST, which is in July. So if you happen to go to the show, come see me. I'll be in the American Baitworks Sync booth, and we'll talk shop and fishing. I mean, it's nothing better than that, is it?
No.
So.
All right, perfect. Well, Andrew, thank you once again for hopping on, and we appreciate you, and you have a good one.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the invite, and it was cool and great to meet you.